a local couple's appearance on a popular reality show has convinced them of a harsh reality. Things aren't as rosy as they seem on TV. In this case, it's a home remodel on HGTV.
We took our dad back to his hometown, and then we stayed in a castle, Drew Scott told People, his voice filled with both pride and nostalgia. It sounded like a simple family reunion, but for fans, the words carried a deeper weight. Why is Drew speaking more about roots and reflection these days? What lies beneath the polished image of the Property Brothers that has everyone asking? Stay with us to know what really happened to Drew Scott. A summer of roots, renewal, and rumors. This summer was unlike any other for Drew and Jonathan Scott. Instead of busy filming schedules and endless meetings, they carved out time for something far more personal. They took their father, Jim Scott, back to his birthplace in Scotland. For the brothers, it was more than a family trip. It was a journey into their roots, a chance to reconnect with history and remind themselves of what truly matters. The Scotts did not travel alone. Around 60 family members gathered for the reunion, turning the trip into a grand celebration. They even stayed in a castle, giving the entire experience a magical feel. Drew later shared that the most touching part was watching their 91-year-old father reunite with his brother and extended family. It was a reminder that time is precious, and moments like these cannot be postponed. The reunion happened during a season of change at HGTV. Some shows were being reshuffled and cancelled, a sign that the television world never stands still. Against that backdrop, the return to Scotland felt even more meaningful. It was as if the brothers were quietly balancing professional uncertainty with the comfort of family ties. While Jonathan soaked in the joy of the reunion, he admitted in interviews that he has been longing for wide-open land again. The pull of their childhood ranch life has never left him, and he hinted that a simpler, quieter life might be in his future. This revelation added more fuel to rumors that big changes could be on the horizon. At the same time, Drew confirmed whispers about Jonathan's personal life. He promised fans that his brother's wedding to Zooey Deschanel would not be an elopement, and that the public would get to celebrate the moment alongside them. The statement created a new wave of speculation about when the big day will finally arrive. Jonathan has also been taking on responsibilities beyond television. After devastating fires in Los Angeles, he stepped forward to support rebuilding efforts and encouraged homeowners to think about resilience and safety in their designs. This new role showed a more serious side of him, one that fans were not used to seeing. The summer also brought a deeply moving episode of Celebrity IOU. Drew and Jonathan helped actor Josh Gad transform his friend's art studio and outdoor space. The reveal was filled with emotion, and it reminded viewers why they fell in love with the brothers in the first place. A season of family, philanthropy, and rumors left fans with one question. If the Scott brothers are reconnecting with their past while reshaping their future, what struggles did they face to build the empire they have today? From ranch kid to HGTV star. Drew and Jonathan Scott were born on April 28, 1978, in Vancouver, Canada. Their childhood was shaped by life on a ranch where they cared for animals, rode horses, and learned the meaning of hard work. Their father, Jim, encouraged them to be independent, while their mother, Joanne, nurtured their creativity. The wide fields of their youth gave the twins both resilience and imagination. As teenagers in the early 1990s, both brothers began exploring entertainment. Jonathan developed a passion for magic and even performed professionally as an illusionist. Drew pursued acting and modeling, appearing in small roles and commercials. These early ventures in front of crowds and cameras gave them confidence, but at the same time, they both felt drawn to real estate. By 18, in 1996, they bought their first house, renovated it themselves, and sold it at a profit. This success lit the spark for what would later define their careers. The turning point came in 2011 when HGT5 launched Property Brothers. The show followed a simple formula that viewers found irresistible. Drew helped families search for and buy a home, while Jonathan used his construction skills to transform it into something extraordinary. Each episode ended with a dramatic reveal that tugged at emotions and left homeowners speechless. The mixture of real estate know-how, sibling chemistry, and heartfelt storytelling quickly made the show one of HGTV's biggest hits. Riding on that momentum, the brothers expanded their empire throughout the 2010s. They created multiple spin-offs, including Buying and Selling in 2012 and Brother vs. Brother in 2013. Their reach grew beyond television when they launched Scott Living in 2015, a lifestyle and home product company that offered furniture, decor, and design collections. Soon, their brand was in major retailers across North America, bringing the Scott style into millions of households. They also became authors, publishing Dream Home in 2016 and later other design and self-help books. Each new project added another layer to their growing empire. By the late 2010s, Drew and Jonathan were not just television hosts. They were entrepreneurs, designers, and global personalities whose influence stretched from HGTV screens to online platforms and storefronts. Yet, with fame came pressure. The constant filming, product launches, and business deals left little room for mistakes. Every move was scrutinized, and the image of the perfect twin duo was carefully guarded. What started on a Canadian ranch had now become an international brand, but it also carried the weight of enormous expectations. And that leads us to the next part of their story. When an empire grows this big, small cracks can no longer stay hidden. The lawsuit that won't quit. Property Brothers promised to transform outdated or broken houses into stunning new homes filled with light, comfort, and modern design. But in Las Vegas, one family said their dream became a nightmare. Paul and Mindy King hired the production team connected to Property Brothers in 2019. What was supposed to be a smooth renovation turned into years of frustration. According to the lawsuit they filed, the work left their home with electrical and safety hazards, unfinished areas, and costs that kept growing. The couple claimed that instead of the polished homes viewers saw on television, they were left with dangerous problems and unpaid bills. The Kings did not take their complaints quietly. In 2021, they brought their case to court, naming Cineflix, the production company behind the show, and the local contractor responsible for the renovation. Drew and Jonathan were not listed as defendants, but because their faces were tied to the franchise, the case instantly spread across the internet and into headlines. Fans were shocked to read accusations that the picture-perfect transformations on screen might hide real-life issues. The legal fight dragged on for years. By 2024, a trial date had been set, and coverage of the case grew louder. Journalists and entertainment blogs followed every update, often using photos of Drew and Jonathan, even though they were not directly responsible for the construction work. By 2025, the lawsuit was still active, a constant reminder that television magic does not always match reality. This distinction mattered in court. In reality television, homeowners sign contracts with the production company and the contractor, not with the celebrity hosts. That meant the Kings had to direct their claims toward the businesses actually performing the work. Still, when viewers saw Property Brothers in the headline, many automatically connected the problems to Drew and Jonathan. Their brand, carefully built over more than a decade, was now tied to allegations of botched renovations. The story spread quickly online. Clips of the king's house appeared in fan discussions, with some viewers re-watching episodes and wondering what had been hidden from the cameras. Social media posts questioned whether other homeowners had faced similar problems. What had once been a trusted brand was suddenly being dissected in the court of public opinion. The lawsuit became more than a legal matter. It was a test of credibility. If one family's dream home could collapse into controversy, how many others were at risk? If a reality show's makeover can be called into question in court, what does that say about what happens off-camera and who is really accountable? Brothers rift behind closed doors. For years, Drew and Jonathan Scott seemed unshakable. They were the perfect team on screen, finishing each other's sentences and turning rundown homes into dream spaces. Fans saw laughter, quick problem-solving, and a bond that looked unbreakable. But behind that polished image, there were whispers of tension. By 2025, the brothers themselves admitted that the rumors were not entirely wrong. The rift centered on money and workload. Jonathan revealed that he often filmed more scenes and handled heavier parts of the construction process, while Drew took on the real estate and negotiation segments. Yet, when the paychecks came in, the earnings were split evenly. For a long time, they ignored the imbalance for the sake of their shared success. Eventually, however, the difference became a point of quiet frustration that neither could fully hide. According to coverage in 2025, the brothers finally acknowledged this divide. They explained that the issue had created real strain, but that they had worked through it. Still, the admission opened a window into the pressures that come with building an empire as siblings. When a brand depends on two equal faces, even the smallest disagreements can feel enormous. This rift also shaped the direction of their projects. Drew began stepping into more public roles, taking interviews that highlighted his personal life, and offering hints about family milestones such as Jonathan's upcoming wedding. He appeared to focus on being the voice of the team, while Jonathan leaned further into design and hands-on work. New projects like Chasing the West reflected these shifts, with Drew emphasizing storytelling and branding, while Jonathan talked about reconnecting with land and ranch life. Fans who had followed the brothers for more than a decade were surprised. Some felt that the confession made them more human, proving that even the most successful partnerships face cracks. Others wondered whether the tension hinted at bigger changes ahead. Would they continue to share the spotlight, or would one brother step away to follow a separate path? It is easy to forget the weight they carry. They are not just siblings, but also business partners, television stars, and the faces of an international brand. Every smile on screen comes with hours of negotiation, travel, and unseen exhaustion. Loyalty keeps them together, but rivalry pushes them to question fairness. Money fights can end careers or reforge them. But what happened when the cameras stopped rolling? Keep watching, because the fallout gets personal. Product lines, licensing, and why it matters. In 2015, Drew and Jonathan Scott launched Scott Living, their lifestyle and home brand. What started with a few pieces of furniture soon expanded into decor, bedding, rugs, and even outdoor collections. By placing their products in major retailers across North America, the twins turned their style into something viewers could buy and bring home. Fans who admired their designs on Property Brothers were suddenly able to live in the same aesthetic, from couches and chairs to lighting and accessories. The expansion did not stop there. Drew and Jonathan partnered with companies for endorsements, digital projects, and branded collaborations. Their faces appeared on book covers, product lines, and even mobile apps. Each new venture added another layer of visibility and income. For the brothers, this was smart business. For partners and investors, it was a chance to attach their names to two of the most recognizable personalities in home design. But with this level of growth came new vulnerabilities. The brand no longer belonged only to television. It depended on customer trust across multiple industries. A family might discover the Scotts through a show, but their decision to buy a sofa or a rug came from believing in the quality of the Scott name. This is why lawsuits, controversies, or even rumors of unfair treatment could cause real damage. A single negative headline had the potential to ripple into licensing negotiations, leaving partners cautious and deals uncertain. In business, reputation is currency. For Drew and Jonathan, the value of their brand is not only measured in ratings, but also in how much people trust their name. When fans question the reliability of a renovation or read about disputes behind the scenes, they carry that doubt into stores and online marketplaces. For companies signing contracts with the brothers, stability matters as much as style. The Scott empire has been carefully built on a foundation of trust, relatability, and polished design. Yet this foundation is only as strong as public belief in their image. One controversy may not topple it, but too many cracks could threaten years of work. So if their empire depends on trust, how do fans and partners react when that trust cracks? And who covers the cost? Fans, backlash, and the media narrative. Drew and Jonathan Scott built their empire on charm, relatability, and the dream of transforming any house into a home. Fans adored them, and the media often celebrated their success as proof that wholesome reality TV could still thrive. But by 2025, the narrative had shifted. The rollout of their new show drew mixed reactions, and the conversation online revealed a growing split between loyal supporters and skeptical critics. On platforms like X and Instagram, fans voiced their frustration. One viral post read, "The new Scott show feels staged, not like the authentic brothers we loved." Another user commented, "They're spread too thin. Every product, every endorsement, it's not about design anymore, it's about money." These reactions echoed across threads and hashtags, pulling more people into the debate. Entertainment outlets picked up on the tension. TV Insider reported that while the premiere drew solid numbers, the social chatter afterward was lukewarm at best, pointing to concerns that the brothers had lost the personal touch that once made them unique. Screen Rant took a sharper tone, running a piece that questioned whether the Scotts had overextended their brand, calling the new project a glossy rehash of past work with none of the spark. But the coverage was not all negative. Some outlets stepped in to defend them. A feature in People framed the backlash as a predictable cycle that every long-running TV personality faces, arguing that the criticism said more about changing audience tastes than about the brothers themselves. Variety reminded readers that the Scotts remained one of the most bankable names in lifestyle television, with networks and advertisers still eager to work with them. The tug-of-war between criticism and defense highlighted an important truth. Reality TV stars live in the court of public opinion, where perception can rise or fall overnight. What makes them relatable also makes them vulnerable. A glowing article can fuel product sales and licensing deals, while a critical review or viral thread can plant doubt in the minds of millions. By 2025, Drew and Jonathan were no longer just HGTV favorites. They were a brand battling to protect its story. Every headline mattered. Every post carried weight. The brothers found themselves at the center of a media storm, their future shaped not only by their work, but by how people chose to talk about them. After months of headlines, speculation, and whispers of scandal, the real question remains, where does Drew Scott actually stand today? The answer, as of late 2025, is layered but clear if you separate the facts from the rumors. Where Drew really stands today and the likely future. The first fact is that Drew is still very much active in the public eye. Reports from TV Insider confirm that new show projects continue rolling out, with Drew appearing front and center. Alongside the cameras, he has also shared glimpses of his family life, posting updates that remind fans he is more than just a television personality. This presence, both professional and personal, is evidence that Drew has not stepped away from the spotlight. The second fact is that the Property Brothers brand has been tested in courtrooms. Homeowners in Las Vegas, known as the Kings, filed lawsuits against the production company and contractors behind the show, claiming botched renovations and hazardous work. The future of the Property Brothers franchise looks uncertain yet full of possibility. Drew and Jonathan Scott built one of the strongest brands in reality television, turning their HGTV series into a global empire. With spin-offs, product lines, and streaming specials, they've shown a rare ability to adapt to changing audiences. One major factor shaping their future is audience fatigue. After more than a decade of similar formats, the house hunt, the renovation, the final reveal, viewers now crave fresher storytelling. Their latest projects, such as Celebrity IOU and Chasing the West, suggest the brothers are already experimenting with new angles, blending emotion, travel, and personal narratives to keep fans engaged. Whether these shows reach the same heights as the original Property Brothers will determine how far the brand can stretch. Another influence is the business empire they've built off-screen. Scott Living, their home furnishings line, continues to expand across retailers. This diversification gives the twins a safety net if TV ratings dip, but it also makes reputation vital. Legal disputes tied to the franchise or negative press could ripple into product sales and licensing deals, making public trust more important than ever. The future of Property Brothers may not rest on flipping houses alone, but on whether Drew and Jonathan can reinvent themselves while holding on to the trust that made them household names. So did the crisis kill his career or force a reinvention? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments.